Hello again, YouTube, and I'm back with another video here. And with this video here, I wanted to address one of my viewers' comments, which was very good. He had a comment about my batteries as far as me cooking them, and I've already answered his comment. And I wanted to because it was a very good comment, and because it posed a question. And the question was, well, because I'm actually, pulling a lot of amps in from, on like a bright sunny day, like today it was anyway. On a bright sunny day, I could pull in up to, in the high 90s, low 100s in amps. And, most folks will look at that and ask the honest question, hey, aren't you pulling in too many amps? Are you gonna just simply boil your batteries, or cooking them with that many amps? And so maybe some folks out there had that question, or that concern, and I wanted to address that because it was a valid concern. And the way I addressed it was this: yes, I do pull in a lot of amps with my batteries. I pull in a lot of amps. But you see, if you look here, at my state of charge, right now my battery is being used. I've been off grid all morning, and now I'm in hybrid mode. So in that state of charge, it's not uncommon for me. You can look at my other videos to verify that. It's not uncommon for me to go down to the low teens in single digits for battery state of charge. So I need in order to bring that from 14% state of charge, 7% state of charge in some cases, in order for me to bring that back up to 100% state of charge, I need my battery bank to give me maximum power. And in that case, I need to bring in as much power as I possibly can get so that I can recharge the battery so I can use them again at night. And also, one key thing is, once my batteries get full, you can see this is what I pulled in today, and I'm still pulling in about 4 amps. I mean, just over 5 amps there, and you can see the time. And so, this is what I pulled in today, okay, as of right now. So, the thing is, when my battery bank gets full at about, 15, just over 15 kilowatts, maybe 16 kilowatts, that extra power, hey, it's still great because I could, do laundry, wash dishes, with the dishwasher. I can cook or do something else with it. Also, a word about these batteries here, these nickel iron cells. I purchased these cells with the understanding that these things are durable and tough, and they can take the punishment. That was the idea. And, some people, at first I was kind of squeamish, and, at first, but I was like, wait a minute here. Why did I buy these things if I'm going to be squeamish about it? And, me and you've seen some of my other videos where me and some other viewers were, going back and forth by saying, okay, well, yeah, these batteries only last for 3 years or whatever, right? So, and all we have is documentation that either says one or the other, right? And the documentation says that these cells should last 30 years, and you can overcharge them, you can undercharge them, they can sit, all this other, nice things, right? And they, these things that sound awesome, too good to be true. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it to the test. What does that mean? I'm going to use these batteries like they are meant to be used. I'm going to drain them down, okay, to about 0% state of charge if necessary. 15% state of charge. I'm going to use these batteries every day, and I'm going to charge them, okay, every day. Okay, I am going to get my money's worth out of these things regardless. Okay, regardless. I'm going to take care of them. I'm not going to abuse them, but I'm going to utilize them and these Edisons here, okay, like they were meant to be used. Okay. There's, one viewer, his opinion is, everybody's opinion is just as valid as any other opinion. In his opinion, based on what he's read or what he's surmised or concluded, that these batteries only last this long in float mode. Well, let's put it to the test, okay? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, okay? And I have been doing that ever since I've had these things. I use these batteries every night, okay? You saw, in my little setup here, where I can literally, I literally go off grid, okay, with the flip of a switch. Right now, this is off grid. I am not off grid right now, but I am in hybrid mode. Okay, this is what is called this AC support. Okay, this is where I'm pulling some power from the utility, and most of the power I'm pulling from the battery bank. You can see that I'm pulling about just over 600 watts. Okay, and about 18 amps coming from the battery bank. Now, if we go here to the Connex information, you can see that, you know, this is what I'm pulling from the utility. Okay, and it's just kind of fluctuating. All right, so it's just pulling just a little bit from the utility, not a lot. And so essentially, I'm essentially off grid, but in a hybrid mode. So I use these batteries every day. I'm going to use them just like nobody's business. If they fail, you know, then I lost something on that. Okay, but I learned the truth. Okay, I learned the truth. Well, you know, that was an expensive truth. Somebody, well, yeah, maybe not. Okay. Yeah, it was expensive. These batteries, they were not cheap, okay? But you know what? At least somebody has to let folks know, or at least I need to know, whether or not these things are up to snuff. And the only way to truly, you know, test to see if these things are up to snuff is to put them through the paces. And, you know, as I said, I don't play with these things. I use them. I use them every day. And I mean, I drain them and charge them, drain them and charge them. And guess what? They're still acting fine. These cells right here, the ones that I fixed, these two specifically, I fixed a few of them. And these two cells right here I mean, these things are just working great. I mean, they were shorted, okay, and they are running just fine. They are doing, I mean, these two cells together in parallel, they're doing just great. One other thing, you know, I see here, you know, I have I tell people, you know, I have this thing set for 400 amp hours, but in truth, I have more than 400 amp hours. And when this thing cuts off, gets down to like 22 volts or 20 volts if I'm off grid, I mean, in all reality, I still, you know, if I had the Magnum inverter and instead of the Connex SW, if I had the Magnum inverter, I can go down to 18 volts, okay? But at 400 volts, I mean at 400 amp hours, I have seen this thing go down to 0% state of charge, and the voltage is still just over 22, 23 volts. So yeah, I have more than 400 amp hours. But the thing is, I just kind of, you know, have it at a baseline of 400 amp hours and just call it good. That way, you know, the batteries will never get below 1 volt, never. So with this right here, with this setup here, these cells been doing just fine. I mean, this cell right here is performing great. I mean, since I fixed it, it's still the same cell. You know, I still have the same red tape. It's still working fine. Okay, it was shorted. It was shorted, but I fixed it. It's good to go. Some people may say, well, maybe it bulged because you were, you know, hitting it with so many amps and so forth. You know, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know. Okay, but in any case, you know, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to use these cells. Okay, one way or the other. The fact that I can take these cells apart and repair them. Okay, and the fact that I took that one cell apart and repaired it. I mean, the squeamishness is gone, folks. It is gone. Okay, I mean they hold no mystery to me anymore, so I'm good to go. Also, one thing that I've done to add more performance to my batteries is I use this stuff, mineral oil. You know what I do? I put 1/4 of an inch, okay, of mineral oil on top of my electrolyte inside of my battery bank, inside of each cell, 1/4 of an inch. Well, why do you do that? Well, the thing is, I got this idea to use this from Philip 22 over at Solar Power and Electricity and Electronics. We were talking, and he, you know, kind of mentioned that this stuff is, it's oil. It's something like the stuff they use in refrigerant, you know, some type of machine oil or something. But, you know, he was like, hey, you should be able to use it. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. At first I was squeamish, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'll be hurting my batteries by doing this. And the thing is, you know, at one point I put it in there, and, you know, I put a little bit in there. I kind of watched. Then I added some more, and then I said, okay, I'm just going to make sure I just put 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to tell you, what the result was is I actually have to, put water in my batteries less, okay? Actually, I put, by putting this stuff in there, I have to water my batteries less. Okay, believe it or not, I have to water my cells less by putting this oil in there. And this oil acts as a natural barrier, to keep the carbon from getting inside of the electrolyte and poisoning the plates. And also, it keeps the water from evaporating. Okay, yes, I will get, because I use my cells pretty hard. Yeah, I do lose water, but with this stuff, I don't lose as much. It's hard to believe, but hey. And some people may say, well, gee, you're crazy for putting that in your cells. Well, after seeing what was inside of these things when I cleaned them, I'm talking, I saw some stuff in there that would, oh man, you saw it in some of my videos. It was kind of cruddy. It wasn't kind of cruddy. It was cruddy. I mean, opposed to that stuff, compared to this is nothing. This is like spring water compared to some of the stuff that was in there. So, and all of this is just mineral oil. And if you look here, I don't know if you can see, but it's like, 100% mineral oil. So, hey, you can't beat it. So I put it in there, and it works great. It works great by keeping the water in there more. And, some people will say, well, gee, I think you're going to ruin your Well, after taking batteries apart, and I actually know how to repair them, and after cleaning some of the gunk and goo and rust and whatever else was on the plates, I can clean this stuff off the plates all day long. So this is nothing. And besides, it should never get that low to it where it gets on the plates. Because this stuff right here, if you take this and you get a glass of water, Philip actually made a suggestion to me. He said, hey, go home and get a glass of water and put this on top, fill it up, fill it up with some water and put this on top, and see what happens. And I did. So I went and I put it on top, and there was a separation, some type of stratification where the oil literally sat on top of the water. It didn't mix in the water or anything. It literally sat on top of the water. And I looked at that and I was like, that's exactly what I want. So I use this to put in my cells, and it works great. For you folks out there with nickel iron and nickel cadmium cells, just an idea. Your mileage may vary, and yes, you do this at your own risk. But hey, I do it, and not only that, but I've got like 3 or 4 bottles, okay, down there. But anyway, these cells they're doing just fine, and I'm going to utilize them to their fullest capability. And so, am I boiling them? Yeah, maybe. Okay, am I cooking them? Yeah, maybe. Am I worried about it? No. No. And as I said, the comment was very well placed. It was a fair comment. It was a fair concern. And I wanted to address that, just for you folks out there that may have nickel iron or nickel cadmium batteries. Folks, you can't be squeamish about these things. After taking these cells apart, and looking at them and bringing them back from zero, from dead shorts and stuff like that, the squeamishness has gone out the window. They really have. And so I use these things, they're equipment, they're pieces of equipment, they're machines. And I treat them as such. I don't put my trust in them. I don't put my hope in them. I don't put my joy in them. They're just machines to help me and my family, and provides me a simple distraction. In terms of things that are going on. It's something that I can deal with. Most folks, you may have you like working on cars. Some people like hunting. Some people like working with their guns, shooting guns and stuff like that. Some people like shopping, eating, cooking, whatever. Everybody's got their hobby. Everybody's got their thing. And this is mine. This is my distraction. Somebody said, well, gee, it's a waste of money or whatever in one of my videos as a comment. And the thing about it is, I say this. I could think of a lot worse things that I could waste my money on. At least with this right here, with these cells right here, it is my hope that, barring a natural disaster or something like that, God willing, it not happen. But barring some type of disaster, at least we have power. My wife has power. If I'm not home or something like that, I don't have to worry about, her being in the dark, kids coming over or whatever. My family, You know, I don't, my, you know, kids, you know, I don't have to worry about them being in the dark. Okay. So anyway, just wanted to address that, and hope you folks are having an awesome time. And you know, take care. Oh, one other thing, folks. One key point here as well. When I started this, you know, hey, you know, I'm a middle-aged guy, right? I'm getting older, and you know, the thing is, there's a lot of folks. I've talked to some folks on YouTube and in the comments and everything, and you know, there's a lot of people that want to get into solar, but there's always tomorrow. There's always, well, I'll wait till, you know, better things happen, or you know, whatever. Folks, the world is not going to get safer. Your job is not going to get more secure. You're not going to get any younger, okay? And quite frankly, you know, these batteries, they're supposed to be guaranteed for 30 years. You know, your life is not guaranteed for tomorrow. You know, there's an old saying that says, you know, here today, gone tomorrow. No, actually, the truth is here today, gone today. So, I mean, you could be gone today, literally. So, you know, you're waiting, you know, a lot of folks are putting off, you know, tomorrow what they can do till tomorrow what they can do today. And the bottom line is tomorrow is not guaranteed. I mean, the next 5 minutes is not guaranteed. So, you know, hey, take it for what it's worth. This was expensive. Yes, it was an investment. It was expensive. Do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because, you know, hey, I can, as I said, you know, you could spend your money on whatever you want, okay? Whatever trips your trigger, whatever makes you happy, all right? This is a hobby of mine that I did it for me and my family. You know, it's great. I enjoy it. You know, it's a great distraction. And as I said, you know, you can't take it with you. Never forget, you cannot take it with you. So for you folks that are sitting there waiting and like, well, I'll do it in about a couple of years or something like that. If you are dead sure that you're going to be here in a couple of years, amen. Amen. No problem. Amen. Okay. More power to you. But just note that there is that possibility that you won't. Okay. But anyway, take care, you two.